Good afternoon and welcome from BTE Media. Today, I'm delighted to welcome Mykyta Fastovets from ExpoPlatform, and he's going to be demonstrating the meeting part of the ExpoPlatform solution. So welcome, Mykyta.
Thanks, Dan.
I will hand over to you.
Thank you. So I'm going to do a very quick demo here of the meeting and networking system of our platform. So I've already logged in as a person. So the starting point for this little demo is that we've already gone through registration, received an onboarding email, selected our password, we're in the system. Cool. So there's a couple of pages we can land on. One is a dashboard that tells me sort of what's going on at the event, how many meetings have I got, and the activity stream. But another page that you can land on is a page about recommendations. So there's a recommendation engine underpinning our system that's able to recommend various different objects, exhibitors, products, people, sessions, speakers, news items, anything. That all is learning how you interact with stuff and what you want to do. You can click on any of these objects or interact with them. So we have these little 3 hot buttons: favorite, meet, and message. If you click on any object, you'll be taken to its profile page. If it's got one, and usually they do. So this is an example of an exhibitor profile page. They've got their product catalog there, documents, team members, similar products, suggestions, and so on. You can click on one of the products. And let's say you got interested in this phone and you wanted to book a meeting with this exhibitor. You click meet, and it would take you into the meeting form where you select who you want to meet. Here. So let's say I want to meet these 2 people. Subject, message, location. One thing to mention is we are prepared for hybrid entirely. So you can have real stand locations in there or online, or either one of those 2 only. If you wanted to go purely physical or purely online, entirely possible. Take the stuff you're interested in. If I book a meeting like this, it'll take a bunch of stuff. Documents, select the duration of the meeting, configured by the organizer. These are the days of the event. Select the start time, request, basically. Yeah. Once I've done that, the other party, this exhibitor or those 2 team members of the exhibitor will get an email saying, hey, this guy has requested a meeting with you. Click this link to action it. We use auto login links. So if the person who receives the request has just done nothing after registering, but they see the meeting request flying into their inbox and they go, oh, okay, that's actually quite interesting. If they click that link, it'll activate their account, ask them to select a password, and then log them into the system, essentially. And then very quickly, I show you what that looks like as an online meeting. So this is an example of an online meeting in my agenda. It's confirmed. I've got a little time here when it's happening, where it's happening. If I was in a different time zone to the event, I'd have 2 times here. Yeah. I happen to be in the same time zone, so I just have 1. I can reschedule or cancel it. I can see who I'm meeting with here. And then I've got a little join room button that becomes active 10 minutes before the meeting takes place. Countdown timer telling me about that. I'm going to click join. Reminders. So 10 minutes before the meeting starts, an email goes out to all the parties saying, hey, the meeting's about to start, jump in. And then if I joined, but the other party didn't, they will get an email saying, hey, this guy has joined and is waiting for you. You haven't shown up. So those are the 2 ways in which we try and make sure you actually turn up to your meetings. So I've pressed the join room demo button there, bypassing the timer because it's a demo. I get a little staging screen that tells me what I'm about to join. Then I get taken to a place where I can select my devices, and I need to turn off my camera in Zoom because it does get consumed, unfortunately. So here you go. I'll have my camera here, and I can join the room if I want to. And so here's my meeting room. This is, you can see me on this big screen now. Yes. List of participants, real-time chat, logo of the exhibitor I'm meeting with. I can share my screen here. All the things you'd expect to be able to do. Yep. This user interface. So a couple of things about this. You're on the platform, on the event platform. Inside the event, you've not been taken to any external resources. It's completely native. In the background, the technology that we use is Amazon Web Services, but we use it as a kind of software development kit from them. So they handle the provisioning of video and audio. We handle all the UI stuff. So again, this URL here, this is myevent.com, basically, /meeting room, whatever. So it's completely native experience. And similarly, I'm going to exit that. I'm going to show you what we can do for a session. So sessions, we have several formats you can have them in. One is the meeting I just showed you. If there's like a breakout format where you have a bunch of people that want to be able to chat to each other, you can use that or similar. Or you can live stream or what we call simu-live in a session as well, similarly. So I'm just going to jump into a session and show you what that looks like. So the UI is very similar. This is just an embed code from any platform, Vimeo, YouTube, wherever you like, live streaming platform, whatever. participants, chat, Q&A, voting on questions, polling, that kind of thing. So
obviously it can be fully customized as well if that's required from the event organizer, as you say, sponsored logos.
Yeah. So sponsorship logos, and sponsorship is a big thing for us.
Yeah.
So actually, we're thinking when we have a bunch of ways already available for how things can be customized and sponsored, and so on. So obviously, you can there's matchmaking here, which I didn't really go into, which I probably should. But I can search for exhibitors, but everybody knows how to search for exhibitors, so let's skip that.
Yeah.
I showed the recommendation section. There's also a matchmaking section. So recommendation is like, hey, here's your personalized objects from the event that are just for you. The matchmaking section is to say, hey, here are the people or exhibitors you should meet, depending on how you configure it. So this is like my top recommended card, and we have an algorithm that essentially learns. So we have positive and negative actions. A positive action is going to a profile, favoriting something, messaging, requesting a meeting. Or if you ignore a recommended result, or if I click not relevant, obviously that's a strong markdown. Or if I scroll down and interact with this result, everything up above will be slightly marked down, essentially. Sure. So it builds up a picture of what I'm interested in and kind of recommends me more relevant stuff. Well, obviously we have search catalogs and all that kind of good stuff as well. I just want to show you one thing on the exhibitor side. Because it is important. Yep. So one of the critical things I think in today's world is that we really need to be able to show exhibitors the value of participation. Absolutely. How do you prove to them that they've gotten something back from the event? So exhibitors have a dashboard very similar to
very visual. Yeah,
exactly. How many page views, page favorites, how complete is your profile, the activity stream. But most importantly, they have this, which is the list of interactions that have happened on their profile. So if anyone ever favorited a page or viewed a product and so on, I can see who those people are, and then I can go to this person's profile and say, hey, this guy, looks interesting, I want to book a meeting with him or whatever. And this part of the card is standardized, but this part of the card is dynamic, so the organizer can output qualifying information essentially on there for the meetings. For a taster, you can see that here we've got like stats. So they get banners and pop-ups and search interactions and so on. So these are some of the kind of analytics for the exhibitor around how their extra sponsorship options have gone.
So Mykta, thank you very much. Let me ask you a question, because obviously, and I used to work at a trade show company, right? And as you know, that particular company, and I guess every company, will look at different platforms. Yeah,
absolutely.
And obviously you're going to prefer the one that you've helped to build and you're working with. What do you think? In all seriousness, what do you think are the main differences that you think, give you a competitive edge, maybe, or maybe would lean someone to coming towards this system or something else?
I mean, I think there are a couple. I think one of them is data ownership is a highly contested field, and we do not lay claim to the organizer's data. So anything the organizer puts into our system, they retain ownership of. We do not want to go down the route of claiming that, essentially. I think that's one important aspect. Another important aspect is that we're very focused on moving away from being a bottom line calculation for the organizer and actually transforming into a revenue generator in the sense that, I mentioned sponsorship, but we're really pushing that angle very hard, and we're looking for various ways. And I'm not talking about artificial ways. I'm not saying let's just limit how many team members or products they can have. That's quite artificial, because that's something that the exhibitor would expect to have a certain amount of, by just participating at the event. We're talking about extra exposure, banners, pop-ups, a customized view of the profile, things like that really make you stand out. And I know we didn't spend a lot of time on the exhibitor profile, but we are a very visual platform.
Sure.
So we're product driven. That's one thing that distinguishes us from others. And also it's quite visual. So when you land onto something, you can sort of, it's much more kind of, the UI tries to get you to interact with it and not sort of run away in fear.
Sure. And who are the types of organizations, don't necessarily need to name names, but what types of companies or business sectors are using this at the moment?
So exhibition organizers are one of our key markets at the moment. So B2B exhibitions, that's one big market, and we work with some big clients without naming names in that in those markets. We also do work with corporates. So we work with various large corporations that are putting on their internal events as well. So that's another sector.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it could be, I guess, what could be anybody then, tech companies,
Yeah,
or
we run
hospitality, or
exactly. So
yeah.
a very big tech company that we use for our services also uses us, for
Aha.
example.
Okay.
So things, yeah, so that happens as well. And
Yeah.
obviously we also have some conference. I think we got to admit that conferences and exhibitions
Sure.
are different, but there is overlap. And so we have a number of summit organizers and conference organizers that use our
Sure.
platform because, you know, there are many, you can run sessions, you can have sponsors and exhibitors like that. That's how you then proportionally set all of that up, and how you configure the system will decide what is the event.
Sure.
But actually we have sufficient flexibility in there to serve a number of markets, I would say.
And it's interesting that a big tech company uses your platform, because that should give my viewers confidence in obviously the software, you know, the security of it, etc. So that's really good. Mykyta, thanks for talking us through the meetings element of the system. I think now you're going to talk me through the sessions part.
Yeah. So I touched on the sessions just a moment ago. I showed an example of a session, but one of the things I didn't really show is, well, how can you access them? And, you know, if you're running, for example, a conference, that's sort of a front and center to the thing.
Sure.
So we've got this kind of tool. This is an agenda for the event where you can see all the sessions. You can filter them by tracks if it's a multi-track event, search them, filter by tags, and so on. These are the days. I can filter by those as well. And everything here is interactive. By the way, speaking of sponsorship, you can see a couple of banners there.
Yes,
that's an example.
Yeah.
So we have an alternate view here as well. So if you're running a really truly very large multi-track event, like some of the events you've been involved with, Dan, I know specifically, and you have like 20 tracks, you can do that using this tool. So this scrolls to the side in an unlimited way, filtering by track, same way. Click on a card, it tells you who the speakers are, you know, sponsorship of that, and so on. Edit your schedule, remove it, join it from here if you want to. That's kind of the session widget. Then I showed how to join sessions, so I'm not going to go through that bit again. But basically, we've got 3 ways to deliver sessions that I talked you through. One was a breakout format. That format is where you have a moderator and potentially up to 249 other people, so 250 people format, and all of them potentially have access to microphone and camera. So the moderator says, hey, you can switch on, you know, ask your questions. It's kind of like a round table / breakout discussion. The second format is the live streaming / simu-live. So live streaming, I think we are all beginning to know what that means. So it's just that. We take an embed code and we just play whatever you put in there. Simu-live is an interesting one. That's pre-recorded format, but we can actually force the person to have the video start at the moment when they join without the possibility to rewind. So let's say the session is a half-an-hour session. You join 10 minutes late. You're with everyone. So you're actually watching it with everyone, essentially. It's playing at the same time for everyone. That's an interesting format because it de-risks the streaming quite a bit, but at the same time, it allows you to kind of still be in the same time with everyone else.
Sure.
And then the third way to consume stuff is the on-demand content section. So on-demand is where you just have a gallery and you can just click and watch a piece of content whenever you like, essentially. There's a deadline that says it's available until this date, and that's it. You just watch it whenever you want to. And
can people mix and match some of these modules?
Yeah. So everything is modular. You can have all 3 types of sessions. You can have any number of sessions running in parallel. You know, you have complete freedom about how you put together your agenda. There's no restrictions on our side for that.